and bring a risk of severe storms. There's a wind advisory that goes into effect at noon, and that'll carry us through 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Sustained winds 15 to 25 miles per hour, and then wind gusts closer to 45 if not 50 miles per hour at times. Good idea to secure any loose items you have outside. With the power of the wind, I do think that we will see some power outages, and then even some downed trees are possible too, especially as the line works through later tonight. It is already very windy out there. Wind gusts close to 30 miles per hour across the state of Alabama. There's some higher gusts off to the west, already gusting closer to 40 and even at 40 over parts of Mississippi. The rest of the afternoon hours are going to be mainly dry. It's just going to be windy with those wind gusts picking up closer to 45 miles per hour. The line of storms begins to move in closer to sunset in West Alabama, and it'll last at least through 10-11 o'clock. By midnight, it looks like the line is east of Birmingham, well east of Birmingham, and then moving on out of here. And so a very fast moving line of storms. This event is mainly driven by wind. It's a high shear, low cape event, and that means we have a lot of wind energy, but we lack instability, and the buoyancy of the air is not quite there. That being said, there is still a risk of a tornado. It is fairly low, and I think it's mainly over South Alabama, but we could have brief spin-up tornadoes, and that may spark a couple of tornado warnings. Main thing is going to be the winds, but the wind alone is dangerous. We've seen that with past events. Let me show you some of the modeling here with the wind gusts. So through the afternoon hours, it really starts to ramp up. When you're heading home 4 p.m. from work, 5 p.m., gusts close to 45 if not 50 miles per hour. Once the line of storms begins to move through, we could have gusts closer to 60 miles per hour along the leading edge of that line, and this model even bringing them up closer to 70 miles per hour, especially the higher terrain. I think that's where the highest gusts will be through tonight. By 10 p.m. the line is east of Birmingham, and you'll see the higher gusts are over Gadsden, Jacksonville, Anniston, Talladega, down to Alex City and Ashland. And as that pushes away, we still remain windy because of the pressure gradient. So tomorrow storms are gone, but it's still going to be very windy. 10 a.m. we've got gusts close to 40, and I think that'll continue at least through the early afternoon hours. So when does it arrive in your area? We'll look in West Alabama. I think these move in perhaps as early as 5 p.m., could be closer to 6 or 7, and that is West Alabama. Hamilton, Scottsville, Fayette, Vernon, Aliceville, Tuscaloosa, down to Utah. I think the line crosses I-65 through 9-10 p.m. That's Birmingham, Coleman, Gardendale, Aniana, Hoover, Pelham, Calera, Clanton, Alabaster, and then the line is east of the interstate heading into 10 p.m. This is the Futurecast. Line is in Mississippi, still about 7 p.m., but begins to work into West Alabama. You see what an intense line of thunderstorms it is. If you'll notice, the line is a bit more straight to the north, and then it starts to bow out a little bit down here over South Alabama. That's where we have greater instability, and any of this that starts to look a little bit more cellular, that's where we have to watch for those spin-up tornadoes in rotation within a thunderstorm. 11 p.m., it's in East Alabama, looking at places like Center, down to Piedmont, Anniston, Jacksonville, Ashland, and then it's getting out of here very quick. Some showers tomorrow afternoon, possibly. I think most of the rain would be north of I-20, but we keep clouds on Wednesday. Again, please stay weather aware tonight. Chief Meteorologist Jason Simpson and Taylor Sorella will be here this evening. You're watching WVT.